Breaking news for every senior, retiree, and family across the country who depends on Social Security benefits. October isn't just another month on the calendar this year, it's a month that's going to feel different for millions of Americans. Your payment schedule is about to change. And if you're not ready, you could find yourself staring at an empty bank account, wondering what happened to the money you've always counted on. But don't panic, I've got you covered. This channel was built for you. The seniors, the disabled, the retirees, the families who rely on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and pensions to live, to breathe a little easier, to get through each month. My mission is simple: to keep you informed, one step ahead of every change, so you're never caught off guard. So before we get into the exact dates and what's happening this October, do one thing right now: hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That single click could save you a whole lot of stress later on. Because what's about to happen this October isn't just a small adjustment. It's a calendar shake-up, one that could make the difference between feeling financially stable or feeling completely blindsided. For years, people have trusted the Social Security system to be consistent. The checks always came on time. The schedule rarely changed. It became routine. It became a rhythm people built their lives around. Rent, bills, groceries, everything was planned with that deposit date in mind. But this October, that rhythm is shifting. And if you don't know what's happening, it can throw everything out of balance. This story isn't just about numbers on a calendar. It's about real lives. It's about the senior sitting at her kitchen table budgeting every penny. It's about the disabled worker making sure their rent clears before late fees hit. It's about the retiree who worked 40 years and depends on that monthly deposit to keep their lights on. And for all of those people, maybe including you, this October matters. Here's what's going on. Every so often, the calendar collides with the Social Security payment system in a way that forces the schedule to shift. It's not corruption. It's not a system failure. It's just how the rules work. When weekends or federal holidays land on a payment date, the deposit is sent earlier. That might sound nice, who doesn't like getting paid early? But here's the catch: when your payment comes early, there's no second payment waiting for you the following month. That's exactly what's happening this year. SSI recipients will see two payments in October, one on October 1 SD and another on October 31 St. But that second payment isn't extra money. It's November's money arriving early. Which means when you wake up on November 1 SD, expecting that deposit to show up like it always does, nothing will be there. No fresh deposit. No cushion. Just silence. For people living on a fixed income, even a few days without that deposit can mean missed rent, unpaid bills, skipped medication, or worse. That's why this isn't just information, it's a warning and a plan. But let's break this down carefully. Because not everyone gets paid on the same day. If you receive SSI, the standard payment date is the 1 SD of each month. But if that date lands on a weekend or a holiday, you get it the business day before. This year, that's why the payment hits on October 31 SD, because November 1 SD falls on a weekend. So yes, it looks like you're getting paid twice in October, but really your November money is just coming early. And then there's the Social Security payment schedule for retirement, disability, and survivor benefits. That works differently. If your birthday falls between the 1 SD and 10th of the month, you'll get your payment on the second Wednesday of October, which is October 8th. If your birthday is between the 11th and 20th, your deposit lands on the third Wednesday, October 15th. And if your birthday falls between the 21 SD and 31 SD, the deposit will hit on October 22 ND. Meanwhile, people who started receiving Social Security before May 1997, or those who get both SSI and Social Security together, will receive their payment on October 3 road. That's why understanding where you fit into this schedule is so important. The dates aren't random, they're part of a structured system. But the calendar changes how that system plays out each year. Now, imagine this scenario. You've been receiving your benefits for years. It's predictable. It's dependable. You know exactly when that deposit shows up, and you've planned your life around it. Then this October comes along. Your payment lands earlier than expected, and a month later, when you check your account, the usual deposit isn't there. For someone who wasn't aware of this shift, that moment can feel terrifying. You might think the payment's missing, delayed, or worse, stolen. This happens every time there's a calendar shift like this. People flood Social Security offices, call their banks, or panic on the phone with loved ones. But the truth is simple: the money isn't missing. It came early. It's sitting in your account from the end of October. And if you didn't plan for it, that's where the trouble starts. That's why budgeting this month is different. Your rent won't wait. Your utility company won't say, "Oh, Social Security moved your payment. Let's push back the due date." No. Those bills will still arrive when they always do. So if your rent is due on November 5th and your SSI payment came on October 31 SD, you'll need to hold on to that money to make it through. It's not extra money. It's survival money. And treating it like anything else could put you in a really tough spot. Think of October as a game of financial chess. You need to see the next move before it happens. If you spend everything in October thinking it's a bonus check, November could become a nightmare. But if you plan ahead now, if you treat that October 31 SD payment as untouchable until November 1 SD, you'll get through this shift smoothly. And for anyone receiving Social Security retirement, disability, or survivor benefits, your schedule remains tied to your birthday. Those deposits are staying consistent: October 8th, 15th, and 22nd. But the key here is awareness. If you also receive SSI or rely on someone who does, this dual payment situation matters for your household budget too. Now let's zoom out for a second and talk about why these payment shifts happen at all. Social Security doesn't process payments on weekends or federal holidays. The banking system doesn't either. So the administration moves the payment to the last business day before the weekend or holiday. It's a rule that's been in place for decades. It's not new, but it's easy to forget when everything feels routine month after month. And this isn't the first time it's happened. Every year or two, the same pattern repeats. And every time, thousands of people are caught off guard. But this time, you won't be one of them. Because now you know the truth. I want to pause here to say something personal. If Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits are part of your life, if these checks are what keep your household running, you need to stay informed. You deserve to stay informed. And that's exactly why this channel exists. Not for hype. Not for rumors. For truth. For clarity. For peace of mind. So if you haven't yet, take 2 seconds and hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it could protect you from unnecessary stress. Every week, I break down what's really happening, not in government language, but in plain, everyday language that makes sense. Because no senior should ever be left confused about their own benefits. Now, back to the October schedule. There's one more thing I want you to understand: these shifts don't just affect you. They have ripple effects. When your payment moves, your entire financial rhythm moves with it. If you're a caregiver or you support a loved one who depends on these payments, this affects you too. You might need to step in, remind them, help them budget, or make sure they don't accidentally spend that money early. Because when November rolls around, the bills won't stop just because the calendar played a trick. And for many, a single missed payment can snowball into late fees, overdraft charges, or worse. That's why awareness is everything. So what can you do right now to protect yourself?